Hello, welcome to Mind Owl. This is our crash course on breathing. Breathing is a topic that has been getting a lot of attention recently, but it's something that was part of so many Asian cultures, especially with exercises like pranayamas and yoga. And just now, modern science is trying to catch up with that knowledge and to understand what goes on in the body when we practice breathing exercises. Like different breathing exercises will affect our bodies in different ways. And I think now we have a good knowledge of that. So it makes it safer to practice. So we know when to practice. And this is the point of this crash course. I'm going to show you the three main ones. And they can be great tools that you can have in your toolkit. So whenever you're feeling maybe a bit down or maybe a bit too stressed, you would know which exercise to do and when to do it and how to do it. Okay, let me share the slides so we can get started. So the point here is to use the breath to improve our well-being. The breath is really important to life. Without breath, there is no life. If you stop breathing for a couple of minutes, you might have some trouble. You might even die. It's so important that in Latin, the word for spirit or soul is the same as the breath, like spiritus. So over the years, different cultures like understood the importance of the breath. And we know that how we feel affects how we breathe. Just imagine that when we are really relaxed, when we're having a bath, we're going to take longer and deeper breaths. But when we are stressed, we will take like shallow and quick breaths. Like shallow, but I mean, is like chest breathing. You're just like really breathing really quickly, and you're not taking the whole like full breath to your belly. But now we know that the breath also influences our nervous system. So the way we breathe can affect how the body is gonna respond to our environment, to our mental life, and so on. So this is what we're gonna cover. We're gonna work together on that side of the breath. Here is just like a basic definition of what is breathing. So it is a biological function of taking in air, absorbing oxygen, and then exhaling air, releasing carbon dioxide, CO2. So the basic thing, you get O2 and then release CO2. You get energy and then it release waste. But it's much more complex than that. But for us here, we're going to stick with the psychological aspect of it that can help us to control our nervous system, can help us to improve our stress response and affect our mood and energy levels. To control our autonomic nervous systems, we can either push it or pull it, like we can stimulate or we can suppress. So we're going to cover in a couple of slides ahead that we have two pedals. One is the accelerator or the gas pedal, and the other one is the brake. So we can, throughout the day, use the breath to decide on when we need to be alert and when we need to relax. We can also use the breath to improve our stress response. When we're feeling stress, by slowing down our breath, we can be much more capable of responding to what's present at the moment. And we can also affect our mood. We can like lift us up a little bit if we're feeling down, or we can slow down if you're feeling too anxious, for example. And here I have a really, I have a recommendation of a really good book by James Nestor. And this is a really great account of how old cultures develop exercises and they realize the importance of the breath, but somehow we lost this kind of knowledge And just very, very recently, I would say like in the last 5 years, we started to talk about it more. So it's a great book if you want to know more about how this knowledge has been developed over the years, and to get some tips on exercise to practice. But we're going to cover the three main ones here, but you get much more information there if you like reading. I highly recommend that you read this one. So, as I said about our autonomic nervous system, we have two main branches. One is the sympathetic nervous system, and the other one is the parasympathetic nervous system. So one is going to be responsible for putting you in this alert state. There's something that needs your attention, something needs to be done. That's called the fight or flight. So it's going to help you to either fight. If you have like a threat around you, we're going to fight it, or you can just fly, flight. That means you're going to run away from it. If you don't see that you're capable enough of facing it, you're going to run away to keep you alive. So this is more like the accelerator side of our nervous system. And the parasympathetic nervous system is the one responsible for slowing it down. So whenever you need to like wind down, to like relax, this is the part of the nervous system that's going to kick in. So we can't stay in high alert all the time, because this is energy consuming, that it requires a lot of energy to be in that, and it's quite stressful. So it is important to know that we have those two branches, and throughout our days we're going to be alternating between one and the other. So here's just a visual to help you understand. So we have like the accelerator and then the brake. And then like when you're driving a car, sometimes you're going to accelerate, sometimes you have to brake. And then that helps to have a visual representation of that. So out of all the techniques that we have to improve our breathing, to improve our health, they all can be divided into three techniques. I call them the energizing breathing, the balance, and the calm and breathing. So, and they do what the name says. Like the energize is whenever you feel like you need some energy to do something important. Think of it as a cup of coffee. So you just woke up and you need to feel energized. You're probably going to have a cup of coffee or tea if that's what you like. So this is going to help you to do that. The balance one is how we are supposed to be breathing all the time. Unfortunately, that's not what we do, because we are chronic stress, most of us. So we tend to have a really shallow type of breathing. So the balance one is to help to regulate and put those two branches in balance, as the name says. And the calming breathing is like when you need to hit the brake pedal. So whenever you need to slow down, we're going to use that as a tool. Okay. Just some caution here before we begin and before I show you the practice and the exercises. So don't practice this when you are in water, if you're like having a bath or having a shower, swimming, or when driving, because some of the exercises, especially the energizing one, can make your blood pressure drop quite quickly. So you need to be seated to practice this exercise, because we don't want anyone like fainting or have any other problems. Apart from that, everything is just really safe. Never force anything. If you respect your body limits, if you see that this is a bit too much for you, just be mindful of that, stop. You don't have to go beyond your limits. So we're not trying to win any competition here. And for the Energize breath exercise, if you have a history of panic attacks, This can be anxiety can produce some anxiety on you because it's a kind of a stressor. We're gonna like be pushing the sympathetic branch, the accelerator a little bit, and so it's wiser for you to practice the other two before and respect, as I said, respect your limits. So be mindful if you feel that this is not for you right now. Okay, just those are some of the instructions that I'd like to cover so we can all practice in a safe way. In all the exercises, we're going to use what is called diaphragmatic breathing. We're going to use the diaphragm, which is a muscle just below our lungs. This helps us to have a full, deep breath. So we need to use it more, this muscle, instead of the chest. The best way to know that you're using it is to have one hand on your chest and one in your belly. And you see when you breathe, which one is expanding more? Is it the chest or is it the belly? If it is the chest, try to have a longer, deeper breath and make your belly expand. Okay? They'll help you to calm down and breathe in a proper way. Okay, let's cover our first one, the calm breathing. So this is the one that is feels like when you're hitting the brake pedal, is the one that is going to stimulate the parasympathetic branch. That's going to help us to be in this rest and digest mode. That's the opposite of the fight or flight. So in this mode, we're just like really calm and like relaxing, digesting your food, like recovering your energy. So how can we do that? If we have longer exhales, we're going to send a signal to our nervous system, to our brain, that everything is okay. Just like, as I said earlier, when we are relaxing, we have like this deep, calm breathing. So we can mimic that to stimulate this break mode. And the suggested exercise is to inhale in a count of 4. So we can just like do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you exhale it in 8, like exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The objective here, always using the diaphragm, as I showed you in the previous slide, and try to have around 3 to 4 breaths per minute. So we're going to really slow down the amount of breaths we take per minute. So here I have a visual that will help you visualize what we are doing. So we're going to inhale and then for 4, exhaling for 8. So the exhales are twice as long. Let's just do a quick practice here. So find a comfortable position for you, settle a little bit. I'm just going to do a brief exercise. We're going to have longer exercises in our time together. This is just to show you what is possible, what you can do, and how to do it. So I would do like that. I will say in, then 2, 3, 4, out, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's do it let's do like 3 rounds just so you can have an idea. So comfortable position, if you're in a chair or grounded in where you are, and we can, if it helps, you can have one hand on your chest and one in your belly, so you can have a clear picture of what's going on in your body. So let's begin. So inhaling in 1, 2, 3, 4, out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now return to your normal, natural breathing. Okay? So you can practice that for 5 minutes or for as long as you want. If 4 to 8 looks a bit too much for you, you can do 3 to 6 or even try like 2 to 4. As long as you have the exhale double the amount of the inhale, that's okay. And then you can slowly increase. Just respect your limits, respect your body. There's no need to strain here. The next one, balanced breathing. This is how we are supposed to be breathing, but in our modern lifestyle, we take 8 to 10 breaths per minute, and they're usually really short or really shallow. Like as I said, like they're like more chest breathing than belly breathing. So we're gonna try to aim for have it 50% of what we are used to do it. So instead of having 8 to 10, we're going to see if we can do like 4 to 6. And the way we do it is to have longer inhales and longer exhales. So we're going to have the same count to both of them. Always using the diaphragm, the belly breathing. And this is going to help to tone our nervous system. So it's going to help you to balance those 2 branches that I said. I'm going to put them in equilibrium. So we can use one of those if what we are doing require one of the 2 branches, okay? So the visual here is a bit different. So both of them are equal, so 6, 6. There's another variation that's called the square box breathing. We can do 2, but let's do a quick 3 rounds of the balanced breathing here. So you can have an idea, just remembering that we're going to have a longer practice together with that. This is just to show you how to do it. So 3 rounds of balanced breathing. Same thing. Find a comfortable position. Settle in your seat. We're going to use in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just resume your natural breathing. Okay. The variation is square box breathing. The only difference is that we're going to add breath holds as well for the same amount of time. Because we're adding the breath holds, we're going to reduce the count for the in breath and for the out breath. So instead of having 6, 6, we're going to have 4, 4, 4, 4. So you're going to breathe to a count of 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and then hold for another 4. So full lungs, going to hold for 4. Empty lungs, going to hold for 4. Okay? I will do one time here so you can have an idea, and then I'm going to guide you to do that. If it helps you, you can pinch your nose. I'm going to pinch my nose to show you that I'm holding my breath, okay? Okay. The last one in our of the three main ones is the energizing breathing. So in this one, we're gonna breathe really fast. So we can do like 3 times faster than what we are used to. And the point of that is to wake our body up. It's just like it is a stressor. We tend to believe that our stress is bad, but no, there is good stress and chronic stress. Good stress is important. We need some stresses in our lives to push us to do something. Is when you go to the gym and then you have to lift weights. So you're stressing your muscles to make them grow. If you do it like in a very mindful way, you know why you're doing it, there's no problem. That's just, you're just gonna get benefits out of it. But if you're constantly doing it, and then you can start damaging your health. So the point here is to give you a boost in your energy, and by having a stressor in one moment of your life, instead of being like all over the place, feeling that you are overwhelmed by stress, you're gonna channel all your energy to one stressor. So you're gonna take all your energy to one point, and it can be really good because it's gonna make you more alert, more concentrated, more focused in what's going on, and you're gonna see the benefits of this exercise. But as I said, use it as if you're like drinking a cup of coffee. So you would drink a cup of coffee, one in the morning when you wake up, and maybe one in the afternoon. Don't do it like 2 hours before going to sleep. Don't do it when you are really stressed. So try to observe your body and what you need. And that's my message to you with this one. And how we do it. We're going to take 20 to 30 rapid breaths, like that pace, more or less. Then we're going to empty our lungs and do a breath hold for 30 seconds with empty lungs. We're going to inhale quickly and do a breath hold with our lungs full. And then we do it for 2 more rounds. I'm going to guide you in one round so you can have an idea. And then we would do a full session later in our time together. Okay. And also, you might feel your fingers and toes tingling a little bit. It's quite normal. Your body temperature might rise, so don't feel that there is anything wrong. That's the purpose of the exercise. And if you do it like too intensively, you can feel a bit lightheaded. But if you do, just stop the exercise, return to your natural breathing, use the calm breathing exercise, longer exhales, and you'll be fine. Okay. Once more, respect your body. There's no need to push too hard. If you do it with caution, you're going to see the amazing benefits. It's one of my favorite exercises. I do it twice a day. And after a week of doing that, you can feel the difference. It'll be much more alert and awake and ready to tackle life. Okay. One more thing, if you don't want to do it right now because maybe you're watching this video in the evening and so on, you just can skip it for now. But it's good to know that you have this tool whenever you need it. For those who want to continue the practice, I'm going to show you one round of it. Okay, same as before. You're going to settle in our seat. And I'm going to I'm going to do the exercise and you're going to follow my breathing pattern. So you can do the same and give you the instructions. So 20 rapid breaths in the pace that I'm going to do here. Then we pause, empty our lungs, breath hold, 30 seconds. Take in a breath, hold it for 15. Okay? Let me show you, and then we're going to start. No. Empty your lungs completely. And out. Then slowly return to your normal breathing. If you want to move your extremities, like your fingers and toes, do that. Do like a quick stretch outside. I hope you felt the power of this exercise. And usually you do that for 3 rounds. Okay. So this is the last one. So remember we had the calm, the balance, and this one, the energizing breathing. Then I like to give you a couple of tips I'm calling here bonus practices. One of them is to use the alternated nostrils. So current research has said that the side of your nose that you use is related to an area of your brain. So if you use your right nostril here, that's related to the left side of the brain, which is the more analytical side of it. And this is also connected to the accelerator or the sympathetic nervous system. So if you need to have more energy in your day, you're feeling that you need to wake up, you can just breathe using the right nostril. You might do it for 3 minutes or so. It will slower the way you breathe because you're taking just half of the air that you normally would do. So just be really gentle with that. And you can do it throughout your day if you need. And the same thing applies for the left nostril, which is connected to the right side of the brain, which is the more holistic and creative side of your brain. If you feel that you need to calm down a little bit to relax, you can just breathe using the left nostril and do it for a couple of minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, so that's something that's good to know. And the other one is the vagal breathing. It has this name because it's connected to the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is this nerve that goes all the way from your spinal cord to the brain stem here, and it connects and it goes to every single major organ of your body, and it's responsible for slowing down. It's connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, the brake pedal. And it has this name because it's the wanderer, the vagabond. It goes everywhere. So it's one of the, it's the longest cranial nerve. And we can stimulate it to trigger this relaxation response. And not only that, it helps to shift, our brains operate using waves. This is like a symphony in your brain, and have 4 of them. But the 2 ones that we need to know is beta, the one that's connected to this alert, aroused state when we are in this doing mode. There's something to be done in our environment. And by stimulating the vagus nerve, we can shift from this beta to alpha, which is a more relaxed but alert state. You're just like being. You're present, you're there, but there's no agenda, there's not to be done. You can just relax in the state. So research has suggested that when we do this kind of vagus nerve stimulation, we help to shift the brain waves in our brains. And how we can do it. So we're gonna take a full in breath, hold it, and then we're gonna try to stretch our lungs in a way that feels good. It depends on each person, depends on each time of the day. Sometimes you're gonna find that you need to move more your shoulders, your abdomen, or your neck. So there's a lot of experimenting. And as some of the other exercises, your blood pressure can drop quite quickly. So please do this carefully and while you're seating. Okay. Let me just demonstrate what I can do. So I'm going to take a full breath. I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to experiment. It's like I'm moving my lungs, expanding, stretching. Okay. Let me do it. So you're going to put some pressure in your lungs while they are full of air, and then you're going to just move and see what works for you. Okay. There's a lot of experimentation in this one, but I think you can see the benefits. You can get a bit lightheaded sometimes, so don't do it too much. But you can see that, at least for me, it's quite noticeable that my brain will be a bit more calm, and like there'll be less thinking while I do this exercise. So what's my suggestion for you? So if you can, follow these guidelines. So I would do something like that. Maybe you can do it. Use the energizing breathing like a cup of coffee, as I said, when you wake up, and in the afternoon when you have this afternoon slump after lunch, when you're feeling a bit lethargic, and then you need like a good push, a good pump. The balanced breathing is like, as it is how we are supposed to be breathing. So as much as you can, be aware of how you're breathing and try to slow it down to a count of 5 or to a count of 6, in, out, really slowly, belly breathing. And the calm breath is whenever you feel that you need to calm down, you're like, there's a bit too much going on, I'm at work and any other occasion, or before going to bed, and before going to bed. Okay, I need to like slowly wind down, relax, and it's great if you can do that. Try to do it like 15 minutes daily if you can have like a morning, a midday, and evening routine. Just during your break, during work, like in working hours, and find the best time for you to practice those, because you're going to see the benefits. And be mindful of how you're breathing. So much of the time you're just breathing. We tend to believe that breathing is something automatic, that we don't have much control, but we do. And once we have control on that, we can affect our lives in so many different ways, and we can regain control in how we are feeling and in our nervous system. Instead of being something passive that just happens to us, we can be more active when it comes to that. And I think it's great. Okay, I hope that it was helpful to you, and I see you in a future video. If you have any questions, you can contact me on our Facebook group. You can send me a message, an email, and yeah, don't think that you you shouldn't be asking any questions. No question is silly or anything like that. I'm here to help you, and I hope that you can get the benefits of this. Okay, and that's it for now. And bye bye.